What it do, YouTube? It's Kindu, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you an infinite arc grenade build for the Hunter subclass. And the good thing about this build is you don't even have to use the artifact mod that I have in the thumbnail, and I'm going to show you gameplay with and without it just to prove it to you. As you can see in the gameplay, I'm just constantly throwing these skip grenades over and over and over again, and who's stopping me? Nobody! Up yours! Like, this build is literally Ad Clear Central. I don't know how else to explain it, but everything's just going to be gone. You're probably going to have the most amount of kills in every activity you do. It's just infinite nades over and over. You just keep getting them. Like, look at this. This is crazy. But without wasting any more time, be sure to like and subscribe, as it will be greatly appreciated because a lot goes into these videos. Man, let's get into this build. Alright, so the exotic armor piece is Shinobu's Vow, and the perk is New Tricks, which reads Improves Skip Grenades, and you gain an additional skip grenade charge. Skip grenade returns energy when it damages enemies. This is obviously the best option for a build like this because it's all centered around the grenades themselves. And also on top of that, the mods in this build are going to help us get infinite nades even more. But before we get into the mods, let's get into the aspects and fragments that I'm running on the subclass. So the first aspect is Flow State, and the description is defeating a jolted target makes you amplified. While you are amplified, your dodge recharges more quickly, you are more resilient while dodging, and your reload speed is greatly increased. There are so many pros to being amplified that there is no reason not to run this aspect, and we're gonna get back to what jolted is in a second. Now the second aspect you're gonna be running is Lethal Current, and the description is after dodging, your next melee attack has increased lunge range, jolts the target, and creates a damaging aftershock. Damaging any jolted target with melee attacks also blinds them. So now after dodging, you're going to be able to use your melee to jolt a target, and you know, when you kill a jolted enemy like the last aspect said, you're going to become amplified. And also once you melee them the first time to make them become jolted, if you melee them a second time, they're going to be blinded from it. Now moving on from the aspects, we are now going to quickly run through the fragments. The first two fragments are Spark of Shock, which your arc grenades jolt targets. Now finally, what jolted means is the target is charged with a destructive arc light. As they take additional damage while jolted, they chain lightning to nearby targets. Now this is really good considering the fact that we're already building into being able to throw as many nades as we want, and now these nades are going to have a bigger field of damage to stem from. The other fragment, Spark of Resistance, is while surrounded by combatants, you are more resistant to incoming damage. Now I chose this one because you're most likely going to use this build in PvE rather than PvP, and you're going to want something to help you with resistance, and I know resistance got a huge buff, but this could help if you can't make it to 100 resilience. Now the other arc fragment is Spark of Ions, which is defeating a jolted target creates a ionic trace. And basically this ionic trace is arc energy that tracks to your location and gives you ability energy. And for the last fragment spot, you can choose whatever you want. Now moving on to the mods on the armor, we're going to start from the head armor and then go down to the class armor. And I would highly recommend trying to get as close to 100 discipline as you can, as this will help boost your recharge rate for your grenades if you're a new player. On your head armor, you want to run 2 Ashes to Assets, which grenade kills give you super energy faster. And you also want to run Firepower, which when you're charged with light, you regain a portion of your grenade energy when you use your grenade. Moving on to the arm mods. So always remember the stat mod is always up to you. I personally use discipline so then I can make it to 100 discipline for this build. But other than that, I have fastball, which increases grenade throw distance, focusing strike, which grants class ability energy when you cause damage with a melee attack, and once again the firepower mod because you can stack these, and if you do stack them, it will have a better effect. Just an FYI, the gameplay that's showing on screen now is gameplay without the artifact mod, which I still have to get to, but just letting you know, I'm gonna let you guys see gameplay when I'm done talking about these mods. Now with the chest piece mods, again, ignore the first one because that's up to you. The second two are damage resistant mods. One should be from the artifact and one you should already have. And then the last mod is Elemental Ordnance, which This is important because your grenades are going to be creating these arc wells, and the arc wells are very important to the build because they pair with the firepower mod, which gives you grenade energy back faster. Moving on to the legs, first mod is a stat mod. Ignore that, you choose what you want. Again, middle two are orbs of power mods, and one is when you get an orb of power, it reduces the cooldown on your grenade, and the other one gives you health if you pick up an orb of power. If you're new, orbs of power typically come from your teammates getting multi-kills or yourself getting multi-kills depending on the mods you're using, but there's no room for those mods on this build, or your teammate using a super. And again, the last mod is firepower, so you should have 3 of these stacked total on all the armor pieces. Last but not least is the class item mods, and the artifact mod on here is lightning strikes twice, which after throwing an arc grenade, gain increased grenade recharge for a short time. Arc final blows extend the duration of this benefit. Since this mod is going to be gone next season, a good alternative is going to be utility kickstart. When your class ability energy is fully expended, you gain class ability energy. Utility kickstart is also a stasis mod, so you may or may not have it. And finally, with the final mod, it's going to be elemental charge, and when you're getting grenade kills and picking up them arc wells, it's going to make you charge with light, and when you're charged with light, that's going to let firepower be able to be activated. And one more thing that I almost forgot to mention is run a weapon that has demolitionist, because demolitionist gives you grenade energy, and I'm using the salvager salvo in my gameplays because it has a perk also called chain reaction, and basically when you blow up an ad with it, it's gonna blow up another ad that's next to that ad that's next to that ad, so on and so forth. Alright, that's it. I'm gonna let gameplay play without that artifact mod just so you can see what you're gonna be able to use next season, and the other gameplay was with the mod, so you can go back and see gameplay with that. I did end up getting crushed by a cabal ball, like, usual. But be sure to like and subscribe, be greatly appreciated. Like I said in the beginning, a lot went into this video. So I will see you in the next one. Let me know if you want more videos like this. Peace.
Bitch, it's an estimate, like it's a guess. This gonna pop, ain't talking no tire. Hitting the point like using the dart. Just like a Tesla, don't push me to start. Dishing this out just like using the card. Was quiet.